What are the strategic reasons for the chess pawn setup? Imagine starting a game of chess and seeing those little pieces lined up on the 2nd and 7th ranks. It might seem simple, but behind that setup lies a lot of planning. The way pawns are arranged at the beginning is not random. It's designed to give players control, flexibility, and options as the game unfolds. The first big reason for this setup is controlling the center of the board. Pawns placed on the D and E files help you dominate the middle squares, which are key for moving your other pieces freely. When you control the center, your pieces can reach more parts of the board faster, making it easier to attack or defend. Another reason is creating a strong pawn structure. When pawns are connected on adjacent files, they protect each other and from a solid barrier. This makes it harder for your opponent to break through. If pawns are isolated or doubled up, they become weak points that your opponent can target. The initial setup encourages players to develop connected pawns that support their pieces and keep their position safe. Having a pawn majority on one side of the board is also important. For example, if you have 3 pawns on the queen side and only 2 on the king side, you can push that extra pawn forward to create a passed pawn. A passed pawn is a pawn with no opposing pawns blocking its way to promotion. This can be a game changer, especially in the endgame when promoting a pawn can lead to a winning advantage. Pawns also help you gain space and restrict your opponent's options. Moving pawns forward can push back your opponent's pieces and open lines for your rooks and queens. But it's a balancing act. Overextending pawns can leave weaknesses behind, giving your opponent chances to infiltrate your position. The pawn setup influences where your other pieces are best placed. For example, a strong pawn chain behind which knights and bishops can develop. Sometimes advancing a pawn breaks the structure, opening lines for your heavier pieces to become active. This strategic timing can lead to powerful attacks or create weaknesses in your opponent's position. Keeping tension in your pawn structure is also a smart move. Instead of immediately capturing or exchanging pawns, waiting for the right moment to break the structure can give you an advantage. It allows you to open lines at a favorable time or create weaknesses in your opponent's camp. Finally, pawn structure is especially important in the endgame. Knowing which formations lead to better chances of winning helps you plan ahead. A strong pawn majority or a well-placed passed pawn can decide the outcome of the game. So, when you see those pawns lined up at the start, remember they're not just there to fill space. They're carefully arranged to control the game's flow, support your pieces, and set up your plans for victory.